Life is so much what you make of it. You're going to enjoy this interview, everybody. Stay tuned. Welcome, everyone, to Your Little Castle Show, where we get to highlight leaders in the community that are doing fun things to impact our little planet. I say fun because I'm trying to be kind of like jovial there, but literally like impactful things that make a difference. And we got to have a little discussion in our pregame prep between game one and game two, we say here, but that's interview one, interview two. And just as you get to sit down with somebody, you get to learn a lot about them. So I got to talk to Elaina and Will here a little bit about what motivates you. And specifically with Will, I was curious about how did you start a company that's done so well so quickly, and where did this come from? And you shared with me a little bit about the background. You had, to say it poetically, you were on tough times. Things in your life were not easy at one point. You made some decisions you may look back and say, those were not the best decisions.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, everyone has a past. I mean, 10 years ago, not involved in some of the best stuff. And yeah, man, after so many negative things happening, and you're just like, man, I don't know what's going on. You decide you got to get out of your own way. And surround yourself with the right people, or get out of certain environments that really allow you to take off from where you're at. So,
and that's what we really want to help people to understand. That is the gist of why, people know I went through a coma. We talk about it fairly often during the show. I don't imagine everybody watches every show, so hey, if you're the first time hearing that, but like life is difficult out of the gate if you just don't stay on the ball. And even then, when you do everything right, things go wrong. I mean, but the point is, no matter how bad it is, if you're willing to put the effort in, if you're willing to step up and say, it's my responsibility to do it, which is where you said, believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Now, you've got a higher power. I can talk about my religious perspective a little bit. We're not a religious show, but there's definitely a higher power. And I think that higher power enjoys seeing us prosper if we just follow the rules that are kind of outlined. And that is help other people, be good to others, treat the people the way the golden rule. And then when you've gone through tough situations in life, it's never too late to start and just go after your dreams. Mm-hmm. Dream and then chase your dreams is what my card says. It's up on the wall here. But that's what people need to do, and you're just a huge, awesome example of that. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, man, it's when you feel that calling. For me, that's the Holy Spirit. If you ask me, just speaking to you, you gotta get out and do that thing, because it's gonna nag at you till you take action. I promise.
That's right.
Hair standing up on my arms.
That's right.
Look at that. Woo! All right, that's when you're getting some. Is that the Spirit coming through?
We're gonna have to preach later.
Whatever that is, but I just say, the bottom line is, we all have a short time on this little planet. You should do everything you can. I'll mention this real quickly, but the odds of you being on this planet, me, you, Elaina, you, Will, the odds of you existing as a human on this planet, I've looked it up. They say it's 1 in, what would you say, what are the numbers? 1 in what?
Oh, I don't remember it, but it's a massive number.
Super lot?
Yeah.
Super lot? 100, 1,000, a million?
1 in 1,000?
400
trillion.
Yeah, I would say it's
4 trillion odds. And there's some biological reasons for that, with the way that there's one egg, and then there's many swimmers, if you will. But I mean, when you think about every single, we're talking about sperm.
Odds are slim to none.
But there's literally, but the way God made this, there are millions and millions. There's one that is who you are.
1 year.
There's one out of millions that with the DNA that made you who you are. And people will screw up. I'll say something else, but I'll say screw up, mess up, waste their lives complaining about things, not doing anything, get involved with the wrong things, and they're only here for such a short period of time. So, again, kudos to both of you guys for stepping up and doing it. Tell us a little bit, Elaina, your background also then. When you started with this guy, with Will, you built a pretty strong background. Where did that come from? What led you to where you're at?
So we're talking about work, right?
Well, we could give us whatever you want to share.
What motivates you?
Yeah.
Honestly, I love to be able to walk into something and build it up. What was that?
Oh, keep going. Yeah, just keep going.
So anything in the starting phases that I could help somebody grow and prosper, that my voice matters, what my performance matters. And then most importantly, I love people and helping them. And so customers are my forte. I love them and I love to make them happy, regardless of what position or industry I am in. I came from a big construction background. I ran my own, well, I was the GM for a construction company here in St. Louis. And then after that, I went into roofing.
Well, there we go. We got to put the hat on this to show everybody. We had it on the table. We got so involved with our conversation. But what is it do you think that motivated you to come from? Because we all just come out and we could just be whatever we want and kind of float through life. What was it you think inspired you to?
I'm a woman and I can do it in this industry, to be honest with you.
There we go.
I love somebody with a chip on their shoulder. Something to prove, man. That's the best fire.
It is a primarily male-dominated industry.
Very much.
And so then, yeah, and gosh, that's inspiring too.
One thing I will say, I mean, just since we have the platform, women do very, very well in this industry. We are hiring for sales position. Please reach out.
And I'm a big advocate. Everybody knows I talk about my mom all the time because, like, she is how do I say this politely, but she goes after it. She gets it done. And I make the joke, like, I sometimes wonder, are you a female? With regard to her attitude sometimes, because women are known to be more of a, hey, we got to take care of the kids.
Not so
Dominant.
Take the initiative, dominant, aggressive.
You spend a few minutes with Elaina or Mia, and you're gonna see real quick.
Well, yeah, literally, like that can be, like I said, it's just really a matter of, do you want to deal with the stereotype? Are you going to listen to those things, those people that tell you what you can't do, or are you going to go out and do it? And whether you're a male or a female, it makes zero difference to me. I see so many women go out there and conquer the world because they made a decision to go do that. Same for guys. I give the guys a little bit more razz because it's like, come on, man. You could have done this. It's like in your DNA to do this, and you're making excuses. That's not the way God wanted it to be.
I will also say, no, that's not the way God wants it to be. But He also wants us to want to be, we need to motivate ourselves, and He will be there to help. But a lot of my drive came just like Will's. My background wasn't so great. I'm a late bloomer because I'm in my mid-40s now, but I had to change my life, and I needed my higher power, we'll say it like that on the radio show, What is God? So, and He made all the difference in my life. And now it's my drive to make up for what I've lost by wasting so much time in life.
Well said there again. I mean, literally, God gives us so much power if we will entrust in what He has given us, right? Or the higher power has given us. Some people get particularly, is God a male? Can you say he's him?
He's a spirit, so He's a spirit.
That being that created everything that we enjoy. We're getting into a little, and you guys don't have to engage in this if you don't want to, but I'll share just a little bit. I think we're kind of might be on the same page, but there's some other thing bigger than us, right? And if we're not going to understand it, then it puts a lot of pressure on yourself to say, oh, I'm the one who did this. I'm the one. No, there's so much more that came out of this.
When you get yourself aligned with Jesus and the Lord, everything starts to take off the right way. It's crazy how it works. As soon as you give it to God, you say, I'm going to do what you need me to do in your name.
That's right.
That's when it all starts.
And our backgrounds is our testimony for the glory of Him, because we obviously couldn't do it ourselves until we let Him do it. But
I'm no college educated, anything. It's hard work and faith.
There you go. It's the system that's in place already. I call it a system because it's literally a system. Do what's right, help people, your life becomes so much more easy. We've all gone down that path the wrong way, myself included. I couldn't get too far because I blame my mother in particular. She was always like this, like yeah. So I was fortunate to have somebody always on me to keep me in line. A lot of people don't have that, and then where do they find it? And even if they have that, sometimes they rebel. I mean, we get all kinds of caveats for that.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, me too.
We see that happen. But yeah, I'm glad we had that little discussion because I think it has led to the success that we're talking about that you're having, that I think you will continue to have. And even if there's a hurdle, which you're inevitably going to have, you'll overcome that because you're looking at something bigger and stronger and bigger than yourself.
When your why is bigger than your how, that doesn't matter. You'll figure it out.
Yep. Very cool stuff. All right, everybody. Sorry for that little caveat for those who don't like to talk about the religious perspective or even the spiritual perspective, or at least the human perspective about why we exist. That's kind of what we want to talk about here on the show from time to time, because ultimately that's at the core, I think, that allows for everybody to exist and do what we do on this planet. All right, let's jump back into some of the business discussion as it all ties together, really, because you're here to serve those people who are your customers, right? You do focus on residential, but you do commercial, and tell me what you like about each and how much you do of each.
Yeah, we do both. I'd say right now we currently do about 90% residential, about 10% commercial. What I like about both, serving homeowners is awesome. I mean, these are their biggest investments at the end of the day. These storms come through, whether they're causing leaks or ripping shingles off or destroying siding or whatever, that has to be handled right away. And being able to see the smile on their face when they don't deal with some of the less fun parts of like the dealing with insurance adjusters or the actual rehab of the the property, that's always huge for us. Especially when we get our reviews, they're like, they made it seamless, and all that. We're very happy. Love that. The commercial side of things, I mean, love commercial roofing. Obviously, those are, not that we're not proud of our residential projects, okay, but when you can walk out and say, this, 200 square, flat roof, yeah, it's that too, but it's really something to be proud of. It makes you smile looking at it, so.
Well, not to get too much back into the religious perspective, because I really wandered away from that, because I had it brought up, and jokingly say, poured down my throat since I was a kid, but Solomon talks about, or the book of Solomon, I didn't realize this, but I'm watching YouTube and learning about business and these business experts, and there's a guy, I forget his name, black guy with a gray beard now, but he's only 55, whatever he is, but this guy's on it, and he talks about how Solomon proved that God will allow you to reap the benefits of what we gain from earth, money, and those things, as long as you're doing what's right. And it's not a bad thing to earn a living. It's not a bad thing to be compensated for what you do, because you're playing within the system to say when you're helping other people, you reap 10 times what you sow. Is that what they say?
Well, they say, I think it's misquoted that money is the root of all evil, and whereas the love of money is the root of all evil, right? Money facilitates so much good and generosity and, building schools and all of that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. If you do it just because you love to have an extra dollar, that's the fastest downfall.
It will be taken away from you.
Yeah.
It's poison.
Yeah. And some businesses are driven just for that. Money, me.
Bottom line, yeah.
But we like to give out to the community.
There we go. And those are some of the key things. And we'll talk about some of the community involvement that you guys have too. That's one of my favorite questions. And you guys mentioned a couple places. Save that for when we get that segment here in just a minute. We got a couple minutes though. I would like to talk about how technology. Now, I am a techie nerd. I mean, so I have no excuse. I better know a little bit about what's going on with regard to the technical world. And I share a lot of my secrets publicly. But I wrote the foreword here for this book, Magnetized Media, and ended up being the first chapter. They said, Carter, you kind of wrote the first chapter. But I wanted to outline it for these guys because they give you a step-by-step guide here that talks to you about what you should do to magnetize yourself, because media has been the means for people to promote themselves down to the small business owner now, where it used to be like you were the Yellow Pages and you were word of mouth and that was it. And now the social media thing kicked in. Mm-hmm. And then I just get really excited talking to you guys about this, Elaina, and you will, because you engage the technology side of this. Even though it's a construction-based business, you're like literally lifting wood and shingles and real materials, and this digital internet computer thing is like intangible. I don't touch these things. Where's this cloud? What's a cloud? It's out there. It's actually a storage server in another location somewhere across the internet. But you have really embraced technology. Tell me how you feel in technology, and even if it's talked about some of the technology with regard to how you put staples in the roof or whatever the technology might be.
The technology is obviously huge nowadays. Again, we talked about speed earlier. That is really the biggest difference between versus hand measuring a roof and having to physically go to the property versus using a satellite. Having to sit there and price all your materials out and find it, whatever. Now it's all in a system. We have it. We already know the pricing. They update monthly. We can go in there and get same day quotes. I mean, that speed is a huge part of it. So I think that's the number one thing that technology has brought to roofing is that speed.
That's a great point. Elaina, expound upon that for me.
Well, I concur. These reports are amazing and allows us to do a much quicker turnover. Yeah. But presenting that to them. And then also, of course, we have to hit on the marketing side of things, the technology, in order for us to, or even just our CRM application. The platform that we use is so useful in so many different areas that it's like a one-stop shop there. So technology is huge.
And a lot of people may wonder what the word CRM stands for. Client Relationship Management. And so that's what I used to sell, and now the CRM includes so much more, but literally like you're not doing service to your client if you're not giving them that quick response. And if you're not going to do it, guess what? Your competitor will.
Somebody is, yeah.
These people are afraid to embrace technology, and I feel for my guys my age. I'm 53, everybody. I mean, I know I look Brad Pitt. I know you and I. Same.
Yeah, sorry.
I got a laugh out of that one. But I used to, comedy routine, held a picture of Brad Pitt up, and I'd go, "Hey, ladies."
You see the resemblance?
Got to do the face. But we're from that age group now where, like, you have the excuse. You could go, "Hey, that's before my time." Well, guess what? The 23-year-old, 25-year-old, 30-year-old guys are kicking their butt because they're coming in and it's going, and here all of a sudden they've got a website that looks beautiful, and take note that maybe they started this 3 weeks ago, but you know, you want to get somebody who's been in business for a while, done this for a while. But if they'll embrace the technology on top of the fact that you got the experience, that's the best service you can provide to a customer.
Absolutely.
As well as customer service. Our platform, I created estimate, we'll type in, they got a file, and it will send them introduction welcome to All or Nothing Roofing and Construction email to them. So, and then we're hitting them back again when we send another link out with the estimate. And so it's just also, it implements continuous interaction with them as well, besides us making a phone call all the time.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. You got to be touching your customers a number of different ways to make sure that they can stay in touch with what's going on, or else you have somebody who's upset going, "What are you talking about? I didn't realize the roof was going to get done by this time at this time." And I can tell you personal experiences, we've all had them, where something got done. If somebody would have just told me, everything would have been fine.
Would have been fine. That's the number one thing. They just don't know. No one likes a surprise. If they are updated before they even can think of it, then you have no problems.
Read your texts, read your emails, read your Facebook, read everything, and then also read your paperwork too, if you can. But if not, get the experts that'll come there and work with you. All right, let's talk about a little more of the community stuff we got going on. We're going to play another quick clip here for you. Check out some of the fun stuff we're doing outside of Busch Stadium this time. More fun Cardinal fans, everybody. Ben and Max. Ben, how long have you been a Cardinal fan?
I mean, I lived here my whole life. You know, Cardinals are just the way in my blood. You know, I can't deny it. You know, that's how it goes.
What is your best pickup line when you meet a girl regarding the Cardinals? Hey, baby, want to go to a Cardinal game?
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I'm not smooth with the ladies, you know, but yeah, hey, baby, Cardinals are in
We're
town.
helping. Well, Ben and Max. You're Ben, right? No, you're Max.
That's Max.
Max, how often do you come back after a Cardinal game? Man, there was a lot of fun there to be had. What was the most fun you had at the Cardinal game? And it can involve anything up into including things we can't talk about.
Well, when I was a kid, came here, I was sitting out in center field, you know, hanging out in the yard, and caught a home run ball. I mean, you can't really beat that, you know.
Barehanded?
No, I had a glove.
He had a glove.
Yeah.
Way to go. So
I was ready.
he's resourceful and athletic, everybody. Ben and Max, thank you guys. Let's go. Can I get a let's go Cardinals?
Let's go Cards.
Let's go Cardinals, baby.
We're going to do it together now, right?
All right.
1, 2, 3. Let's go Cardinals. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rathwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rathwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds. to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up! All right, everybody, there it is. We get to do fun stuff in the community, and we've got some of the leaders here joining us in studio today to share some of their background. I mean, I just love your story, Will. And it's pretty exciting to see somebody that's been through it. You know, we all go through hurdles in life, coma myself, and to just never listen to what the naysayers are telling you. Associate with the right people and conquer the world.
Yes, sir.
And then also bring on the right people to work with you, because Elaina here, with your background, you guys make a really solid team. Pretty exciting. All right, we got about 7 minutes, six and a half minutes left here to cover 400 questions I still have left here. No, I'm just joking, but tell me the process. I can only imagine that by now a lot of people have heard what we're talking about here, like, okay, these guys are the ones I got to hire. How do people get started with you? A few different ways, I would imagine, and then the process for that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously reaching out is the first one, right? The phone calls, we got, you can fill out the form on our website, hit us up on Facebook, submit a BBB request. I mean, there's a dozen different ways. But obviously the first step would come out and, introduce ourselves, inspect the property, document every piece of it, right? Make sure there's any storm damage or not, that it's all documented and shown to the homeowner. From there, if there is enough damage that insurance will likely cover it, then we would they would typically file a claim. When the adjuster comes out, we'd meet the adjuster there, make sure that they're seeing everything that we saw during our inspection, and then from there we go to town as far as submitting documentation, estimates, code language, and documentation as to why our price and our quote is what it is. And then you get into the insurance negotiations, the fun part.
And that's the part that you don't want to take on your own. There's a lot of people, oh yeah, should I call the insurance company? I'll take care of it. Usually a mistake. It's like trying to represent yourself in a court of law. You want to have an expert by your side to walk you through that process.
Yeah. Now I can't legally say I'm any kind of attorney in roofing, I think, but we do our damnedest to make sure that we document everything we can and that we leave no room for any any discrepancy there on the insurance side of things.
Yeah, well, back to then, if you want to get it done right, you would have the experts that we'll talk to you about. Because can you evaluate your own roof to say, oh yeah, I definitely think this should be covered, or this, and there's so much you will miss because you're not an expert. What's going on behind that?
100%.
The roofing, the shingles, and the underlayment, and
there's so much you can't see from the ground. So
yeah.
If they haven't climbed up there and themselves and inspected it, you may or may not even realize that there's anything there.
Elaina, you deal with this a lot, I'm certain, because this is what you're going through with people to help them make sure they do get things covered. What's that like for you, helping customers with that?
Well, my approach is a little different, of course, but being that the renovation or repair side of things, a lot of our volume will come from property management companies, but we have a dedicated call center, so any lead will come in, or somebody's like, I think I got a leak or whatnot. They're usually reaching out to us, which is why marketing is huge, and that's what we're trying to do with introducing ourselves to St. Louis right now. But a lot of times people just have a little leak. The flashing is loose, or there's some high nail pops and might have a bullet hole in St. Louis. So, just a quick repair. That's what I will come in and focus on. and then, you know, get them taken care of as quickly as possible, make sure that interior damage isn't done, and they love us, and then later we get to re-roof them.
There you go. And it's follow that process, because if you skip any step in that process, things don't go the way they should. I like the way you guys talk about systems. Systems, everybody. When I worked for Anheuser-Busch, Bob Byrne, I'll never forget, CTO, I think it was his title. But you have to standardize and systematize. If you don't have that, I mean, go look at the bottling plant. I used to have to go over and fix some technical stuff over in the bottling plants. Boy, it is machinery everywhere. Everything is lined up, everything. And if one thing breaks in that, it stops them until they figure it out. But the process is so important, because if you don't have that process from beginning to end, things get missed.
Yeah, it's true.
And
Definitely
keep it
true.
up on our subs, on my side of the world, to make sure they are where they say they are. They showed up. They did a fair assessment. We get the estimate in for them, or we just repair it on site right then and there. So, but the communication from me to them to the homeowner is essential.
Very good. Tell me then a little bit about this, if you would, Will. Within your business, we talked about we all have hurdles in life. We discussed that a little bit. But within the business, what has been some of the biggest challenges or things that you've seen other people deal with that you had to go fix and help them through? I imagine there's a lot of that.
I mean, there's quite a bit of that. I mean, one of the biggest obstacles, at least for us on the insurance side of things, right? Retail is very straightforward. Document, estimate, provide the value, right? On the insurance side of things, especially this year and last year, you're running into a lot of insurance companies that are just buckling down and just will not budge. Now, they do after some time, but their first tactic is going to be delay the process as much as possible. Usually it's deny, delay, defend is the terminology, and that is insurance's number one thing. They will deny it, they'll delay any communication as much as possible, and try to defend their stance on it. And if they can get you to push this process out 3-4 months, that homeowner may or may not give up, and then they saved $1.
Yeah, they're literally driven into submission. Is that what they're?
Yeah,
that's
what they go for. They say we got bigger pockets and we can outlast you. So
yeah,
it's usually what they go for.
Again, it's sad to imagine that this is the strategy, but I know it's true, because they do. This is done across the business world, not just in this industry, but where they just make it difficult, make it more cumbersome, put in some hurdles. Because we could just send an email, but they say no, you got to fax it.
They've gone as far as to publish this in writing, saying this is what they do. That's
okay.
Which is,
so then we're not even saying
it's not even speculation. It's their own people have put it out that this is what we do. It's the number one way we don't pay claims.
Wow. So get an expert that can fight on your side, that will know how to handle such situations, and make sure you get taken care of. What is it? If you had a question that comes up most often, an objection. Give me 3 seconds of what's the biggest objection that you hear from people.
In regards to
when they've got a claim, what are they trying to deal with?
Oh, the biggest objection is always they don't know who you are, right? At the door, especially a lot of times you just showed up, or maybe they did call you and they don't even know what's up there. The biggest objection is always
go look them up on the web, everybody. Great reviews, great business.
And that's the solution, right? Do your research. Especially after a big storm, everyone knows there's contractors that come from out of state. They might come from Louisiana or Texas. And
thanks, everybody. Giddy up.